Hey gang, we've got section 6.1 in your books, a new unit here, and I'm excited about it. The beginning of the chapter here talks a bunch about microscopes, and that is great. Definitely read through it and understand the different types of microscopes. I'm not going to talk about that on the videos here. It's not very confusing, I don't think. But the part from section 1 that I wanted to talk about was the cell fractionation process. And there's a couple reasons that I wanted to point it out. One of the reasons is just this idea of a centrifuge and what a centrifuge is. I just want to make sure you know that for some future experiments that we're going to read about. And also the idea, this could go through your head as we're going through things. These organelles or these pieces of cells are so small. Like, how in the world do they study them? How do you isolate like mitochondria from the rest of a cell if you're going to study mitochondria? Anyway, so this is a process that is a very simple process that scientists do. So they'll take a tissue sample and they'll put it basically in a blender, and sometimes they'll do it by itself. Sometimes they'll put a chemical in there to help break the cell or lyse the cell, they'll call it. But basically, the idea here is they want to break the cells up into their pieces. So smack it with the blender enough that it'll break the cells open, and then all the pieces can go wherever they need to. So then you get what they call homogenate, and homogenate just means that all the parts are blended together. A centrifuge, and you guys have seen these, and you may have even used them in general biology class. The centrifuge basically spins really, really fast, and the centrifugal force from that spinning really fast pushes particles to the ends of the tube as this spins around, kind of like when you were little. This actually happened with my 4-year-old this summer. We're at the beach. She put some water into a bucket, and she finds out that she can flip the bucket over, and if she keeps it going fast enough, the water won't fall out. She thinks it's like a magic trick or something like that. And you guys know it's centrifugal force. That if something spins real fast, it gets pushed to the end. So they're using centrifugal force, and basically what they do is they're going to separate the different parts of the cell based on size and density. And essentially the larger and more dense things, they want to go to the end of the tube further than the things that are smaller. And to kind of amplify that effect, what they'll do is if they do it at a relatively slow speed, then the heaviest things will go to the end. If they increase the speed a little bit more, then things that are a little bit lighter will go to the end. Increase the speed even more, and things that are even lighter will go to the end. And the idea here is some terms that they use, so here 1000 G means they'll spin it so that the force it's experiencing is 1,000 times the force of gravity, and that would be enough to get the largest parts of the cell to stick to the bottom of the tube, and it'll actually stick so much that it's like a solid at the bottom of the tube, and everything else is a solution. The solid at the bottom of the tube they call a pellet, and then the liquid part that still has things dissolved in it they call the supernatant or supernatant, depending who you talk about. Anyway, and what they'll do is they'll spin it for a certain amount of time at a low speed, get the largest particles, and then they'll dump the liquid off the top of that into a new tube, centrifuge it again at a higher speed, and get the particles that are now the largest in there, but they're a little bit smaller than the ones before, and then they'll pour the supernatant out, centrifuge it again at an even higher speed, and get a new pellet. And each time the pellet is made of different things. So they have the names in here. You get the nucleus during the first pellet. You get mitochondria and chloroplasts, which are basically the size of a bacteria, in the next one. And then you start to get little bits of all kinds of other stuff in the latter pellets. So that's how cell fractionation works. Understand the idea of a centrifuge. Understand the idea that it separates things by density and by mass. And then this is how you can study different parts of a cell. So that's it for this video, and have a great day.